Today was not our best day. I want to give credit to USC for just being more intense and coming out and really punching us in the face. And I think that we never really responded. I thought that our defensive intensity was just a step behind the whole game. And I thought they did a really good job of jumping on us. It's uncharacteristic for us to give up, like in 5 minutes, we gave up at one point 15 points. And then in the fourth quarter for us to give up 27 points. It's not Arizona and it's not our style defense. So we have to get better. Unfortunately, this is a learning lesson and we just have to get better at some things. And we got to get healthy. It's not an excuse at all. Not the reason why we lost the game, but we got to get our other two starters back. And then I think we'll be better. But despite that, we have to figure out a way to win because the reality is for the rest of the season, this could be the case. Someone could be missing every game. So not an excuse, just credit to USC. They outplayed us.
Kim, if you want to get us started.
Sure. Adia, you guys actually out-rebounded them even on the offensive boards, but they still got more second chance points. What do you think was going on that they were able to do that and you weren't?
So, 14 offensive rebounds, which is really good. I thought on the boards we were good. That's not usually our strongest area, especially without one of our starting post players. But that tells me we're not able to convert. We had a really tough time scoring, but for us and our identity and who we are, it starts with our defense. We did not play defense the way we do. We were not on the ball with intensity. We weren't focused. And I think that happens sometimes. And, but you can control those things. We can control being off or maybe not converting on every shot because they have size inside and they're pretty big and athletic. But we can always control our defense. That's a constant for us and always has been. I think this is one of our poorest defensive games. It's our poorest defensive game of the season. But, I'd say overall, it's probably our poorest defensive game in probably 3 or 4 years. So have to get better. I think there were some basic defensive stuff that really hurt us that I don't think in the last 4 years, we've been hurt on some basic plays. So, we have to get better. And we have to understand that we have a target on our back and we cannot come into any Pac-12 game thinking that we're just going to win a game because you get punched in the face like we did today and we lost. So definitely got to get better.
EJ?
Yeah, offensively, except for, Kate, it was just really hard for you today. And you went cold, you went on long streaks where you weren't scoring. What was going on there? Even like with Kate, a lot of times, it seemed like they were double teaming her and she just couldn't quite get over and that's sort of not the case.
Well, I think, so it was very heavily congested in the paint. So when Oriah caught the ball, when Kate caught the ball, it was difficult to make plays. They would put 2-3 people and they were helping off of some of our shooters. But that was a smart thing because we weren't hitting shots. We were 6 for 22 from the 3. And so I thought we did a better job. Kate started to drive it and then but we missed a lot of shots. We missed a lot of shots around the basket. And that's not what we could do. We were passing it out. Then when we continued to drive, we got them in rotation, but then we couldn't convert. I thought Maddie had some really good looks. The shots didn't fall. I thought Sam had some good looks. They just didn't fall. But I think that can happen offensively, but then defensively, you got to be a little bit better. So you can't be off defensively and then not hit shots on offense. So I think for us, we would have still been okay. Playing solid defense and not making those shots. But you can't play bad defense and give up shots and not score on offense. Like that just mathematically doesn't work. And we went into the fourth quarter up. So just definitely not our game today. And credit to USC, they outplayed us.
David?
Did she disappear? Oh, I don't see her. Oh, Adia, there you are. Okay. Obviously, Sam has not been a dynamic scorer during her entire career here, but did you anticipate you get more offense out of her this year than what you're getting?
No, I mean, yeah, but I think that Sam always does what she does. She's a solid defender. If she misses shots, that's okay because she's played such a great defense. She canceled, like against Washington State, she canceled the Laker Walker. And I think that, there's going to be nights where you will be 0 for 8. There's going to be nights where someone will be 3 for 12. That can happen. But then what a great team does is someone else steps up. So then Sam plays solid defense, then Maddie comes in and hits shots, or the bench like comes in and hits shots. And that's the way great teams operate. We're not a great team yet. We're a good team, but we have to get better. So the nights when Sam's off, maybe Bendu's on. But it's difficult if Bendu is 4 for 7. She had a pretty good night. She drove it a lot. But it's difficult if you have multiple shooters off. And I think, and then you're not playing solid defense as a team. So you don't win games like that and you lose. So I think you can't go 27% from the 3. You can't allow a team to shoot, 45% in the fourth quarter. And, at one point they shot 50. No, so they shot in the third quarter 55%, in the fourth quarter 57%. You will not win a game on the road. Now, if it was a different team, if this is Stanford, we lose by 30. So I think that, we have to get better. We cannot allow this. We have to get stops and scores. And if you're not scoring, our philosophy has always been they're not scoring. But we weren't scoring and they were scoring. So that's a problem. But yeah, we need more productivity. If you look at USC, their bench scored 30, our bench scored 13. So, and I just talking as a team, we can't go into our bench and have a lull. But also, I do have to keep in mind, we don't have 2 starters, but that's no excuse because USC is without their best player. They're without their best shooter and their best player. So there's no excuse. Opportunities come and different people step up. And we just need more productivity overall.
Javi?
Adia, with Mira going off there in the fourth quarter, was it just, was there lapses there or how did she get free like that?
Well, earlier in the game, she got free and that's uncharacteristic of us. We played the staggers a certain way. So we don't usually allow shooters to get free. And in the fourth quarter, by that time, she was hot. She was 5 for 6 from the 3. So it wasn't the fourth quarter. One was a gut check. It was the easy shots earlier that enabled her to go off and have confidence in the fourth quarter. That's also uncharacteristic for us, the way we guard the staggers and stuff. We got lost, lack of communication. That's not something we normally do. So, I just attribute a lot of that to lack of focus. And, I think that just remembering that we have to bring our best game every game. We have a target on our back. And so that makes us have to play at a different level every game and just know that people are going to, give their best punch. And we can't have lack of intensity or lack of focus from the get-go. And we had lack of focus today.
Kim?
As far as Shayna being out, these last 2 games, your offense hasn't quite maybe clicked the way it should. How important does this make her? I mean, can you just speak to how important she is for that offense to run?
Really, really important for our style. It's not only offensively, the first thing. So if you look at Washington State, it was handling pressure. Shayna's used to that. She's a point guard. She's a point guard and she can play off guard, but she's so athletic. She's very difficult to trap and she's very difficult to press. So you don't see her get pressed a lot because when she gets pressed, she goes downhill. So her athleticism poses a problem. I think we're just a little bit different. And, Helena, I think, has done a really good job. I think Helena has stepped up in a difficult situation and played, 34 minutes, 8 points. I thought in the first half, she did really good. She had a huge shot going into half. So I thought she has handled our team well. I mean, she had 2 assists. So second game in a row as a point guard, 0 turnovers. So she did her job and she stepped up and did a really good job. We're different defensively, but there's no excuse because we have a great defensive system. So there's no excuse for not being in the right position when we should be. Those are focus things. But missing Shayna, it's a lot. It's on, she's one of our best defenders and her and Bendu together are dynamic and really incredible in the press. And then it's just, we look really different. And then, Lauren inside, Lauren is one of our best post defenders. Lauren is a brim protector, a shot blocker, and Lauren's size would have really matched up well with USC. So Lauren will be back and play on Thursday. Shayna will be back. But my thing is like, that's not the excuse. We didn't lose because we didn't have Shayna and Lauren. Are we better with them? No doubt, completely. But that's not why we lost. We lost because lack of intensity. We didn't match their fight. They came out and jumped on us. We were on our heels. We fought a little bit, but we didn't. Our characteristics and who we are we come back and we bring it. And we weren't able to sustain that. And so for me, that was a mental thing, because the defensive end you can control. And if you're doing the right thing and someone does a great play, you can live with those things, but you can't live with someone being hot and getting a wide open three again. You can't live with a mistake on the way we play something when it's our defensive, philosophy, and it's the way we play that type of screen. Those are focus things. And that's just unfortunate because, we've been rolling. But a couple things, we got to get in shape. We got to get the rust off because these have not been two good games. We escaped Washington State barely. And so this is a wake-up call. So maybe we needed it because we got to get better.
Jason?
Yeah, last year, Coy Love averaged 21 points a game on 47% shooting. Not to pick on her because other players, obviously Sam didn't have a great night, but Coy came in the other night and had 5 turnovers and she didn't score today. Is she okay? And how do you get her going?
Yeah, no, she's perfectly fine. Coy will be fine. It's just learning. It's, playing a different role. I think it's a completely different system, a different style of play, and there's a lot to learn. And I think that confidence is a big thing with players. And I think that, it's a different role. Corey's always been the main player. So coming from the bench is not easy for players. I get that. I was a player. As when you come in from the bench, you have a shorter leash. You make a couple mistakes, you go out. That's the way it is. And I think that she's going to play better. She works extremely hard. So it's going to come and it's just taking time. I know that she can play better. I know that she will get the opportunities later, but she's got to make sure she comes in with the right mentality. And she's capable of doing that. I think that, the expectation is we need her. And we really needed her today. And I think that when you're a player, there's sometimes the situations where it's a ripple effect. Last game you turn over, then you're second guessing. It's normal. That's just kind of basketball. But she'll play better. She puts in the work and she'll be fine. But, we got to get her going.
Javi?
Idea. How do you, going forward now with the Oregon schools going up there, how do you address the team now just coming off this loss? How do you handle that situation?
We have to get better. We are going to be doing some basic things that we normally wouldn't do this time of year. And I'm okay with that because we're going to get better. For me, the wins and losses, if we're going to lose 2 more games because we're working on certain things, so be it. We have to get better. We're not as good as we should be right now. There are factors, but there's factors all over the country. There's probably half of the country is going through COVID protocol and missing players, but that's an excuse to me. And that's why you have a good team with depth because other people have to step up. So I don't like those excuses. I think that there's still a system and a level of intensity that has to be consistent. So we have to get better, and we are going to do some basic fundamentals, and we're going to get better at some certain things that we are not good at right now. And, I think the hard thing for me is we were better at these things a couple of weeks ago, and I do see the drop off. And, but this is the reality. We're going to maybe have another COVID situation. We're going to miss players here and there, but you figure it out. And that's what great teams do. And so we're not there yet. We're getting better, but we're not there yet mentally or physically. So we will get better. We will get better against Oregon for sure. Oregon State to start.
Any more questions for Coach Barnes?
Yeah, I have a question. What was it like to go back and play in front of no fans?
It stunk. I think the first thing is, I think the upsetting stuff for us is this is a makeup game that we wanted. And so when you have a makeup game you wanted, then you don't win, it's not good. I think, we want to play games and we're still willing to play everybody because I know we're a good team. We're going to play better. But this is another excuse to me. So it's not the reason why we lost because they were playing for no fans too and had a lot more energy. So they are used to it more. We are used to having our 6 man, but this is the reality. So we got to suck it up and figure it out. You have to generate intensity and you have to generate enthusiasm and that's what it is. And honestly, we played against no fans all last year. So if you remember that, and we had a pretty good year. So but it is what it is. It's against all the California schools. It's going to be like that. Hopefully it's not like that in Tucson because it helps us. but that's an excuse. We got to be better on the road under any circumstance. But that to me is not a factor by any means.